America loves war. As a country, we've been at war for over 90% of our history. Today is no different. In case you weren't aware, we are currently bombing 7 countries. That's just from what they've told us anyway. What we do know is that our military is all over the Middle East. We've been in Afghanistan for 17 years, for example. Not fighting terror, mind you, but protecting poppy fields for opium production. None of this war in the Middle East is actually about terror. That is just a lie the media sells it to the public with. These wars and all wars are all actually about the same thing: God, greed, oil, and drugs. Our agenda in the Middle East these past 17 years was made possible by the false flags attacks on 9/11. But like the Patriot Act, it was already planned out well before. This is retired General Wesley Clark in an interview with Democracy Now! Discussing our agenda in the Middle East way back after 9/11.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me."
So far, we have hit all the points in that plan laid out to General Clark, except Iran, and they are beating the war drums for Iran right as we speak. We're being played. This is all a lie, and we're all complicit in it by staying silent about it. The war on terror is a phony false flag war covering up a long ago pre-planned agenda in the Middle East by the elite and the military-industrial complex. We are in the middle of World War III right now, and most people aren't even aware of it. That's why we have to spread the truth to raise awareness and stop these wars. The media and the military-industrial complex sure never will. They'll just keep lying and glorifying the violence as they always have. So it falls on us to spread the truth, because silence is consent, and I don't consent to these wars and all of the death caused by these lies. So spread this video and share the truth of our true agenda in the Middle East and what all this war is really about: greed, oil, and drugs.